And we're ready when you are.
All right, well, good morning. I'd like to call to order the April 18, 2018 meeting of the Regional Project Coordination Committee. Our first item is to conduct a comment period for citizens' participation. No action can be taken on any matter discussed under this item, although the committee can direct that it be placed on a future agenda. I don't think we have any
Doesn't look like it.
comments. So our second agenda item is approval of the minutes for the meeting of March 21st, 2018 for possible action. Does anyone have any comments or questions? With that, I'll motion to approve. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Nay?
Aye.
Dale's out.
Did you just vote?
No, she said all in favor, say aye.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I heard, okay.
Aye. Aye.
Delayed. A delayed aye.
Oh, so sorry.
Can I get you a copy, Dale?
Yeah. Get you some right here.
They always have a copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, the motion carries. Item 3 is to receive an updated list of entity and utility company contact persons and direct staff accordingly.
Yes, Madam Chair, I think that we have incorporated all of the most recent changes into both lists. So we'd be happy to make any further changes if there are any. Okay, sounds like we're good.
Received the one I have for July. You guys received that, is that correct?
Madam Chair and Mr. Priscilla, we have received that for the change in July.
Right.
Okay.
All right, with that, we'll move to item 4. Discuss potential projects on the 1 to 2 year planning list, possible action.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is your standing item to talk about what's coming down the pike. Chris can pull up our RPCC map. It should be right there. We did not have anything to highlight, I don't believe. But we're can zoom around, move around. If the committee has anything to like to talk about, specific projects.
We have 2 out to bid right now, JP.
Oh, very good. Where at?
We have Tropical Parkway from Lynn Lane to Hollywood, Hollywood to the 15. And we have Hollywood Boulevard storm drain system from Centennial Parkway to Las Vegas Boulevard on Hollywood.
Cool. They showing up? Awesome.
See that one,
What's the second project under that, Chris? There was the arrow was up there.
That's probably Southwest.
it's probably the one from, it's probably the one that wraps around Nellis Air Force Base. We have some environmental hoops we're jumping through for phase 2.
So we're showing that as a Fry 2. That's
Yeah, that's the second phase, I think, right there was the first project you popped on there. Is that the
So
one to the
there's-
dunes south? Yeah, that one there it wraps around the end of Nellis Air Force Base. And we're still in the environmental process on that one.
and there's a Southwest Gas project up there coming or going.
We have some relocations for that project, so if you want to
Okay.
add us as a second under their project, they'll
That'd be great.
starting soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to do that. So as a participant, outstanding. We will absolutely do that. Will you make that so number 1? Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Anything else? Do you want to talk about what we're, instead of doing it at the topics of interest, maybe this is a good place to talk about CIPs?
Yeah, if I can, Madam Chair. We're going to start, all the CIPs are starting to roll in. So we're going to get in July, when they get adopted in June, and for the July meeting, they should all be updated on the roadway side. I'm going to work with Abby and flood control to get all the flood control stuff regionally when theirs gets adopted as well. And then we'll start talking about each agency's non-road, non-flood specific items getting on there. And then we'll get a lot cleaner with the Fried extension, Fried 2 stuff, as well as the rest of the capital plan in terms of real, design and constructions, estimations. But the other thing I'll point out on this, on the 1 to 2 year planning list, the one thing that I will try to do as we go forward, and if each agency can do the same on ancillary projects, as design interlocals get approved by us, we'll point those out to everybody here at the next meeting, so that everybody knows that these just were funded for design, so they're getting ready to get started. So that gives everybody that heads up to say, hey, do I need to be a piece of that? That's the type of coordination we should start heading towards as these designs get started. Those are the things I'd like to bring up into this item and say, hey, these are the things that are getting underway. Let's really talk about what needs to be coordinated with that at the time it needs to be coordinated, right? And then so hopefully we can avoid us having to say, oh yeah, I'm in construction, I need help. Because hopefully we've worked that out through the design process, so.
So that report, I think, fits into this item. Does everybody agree with that, or do you want a separate item that says something like, receive report from RTC on projects recently funded for design, or just shoehorn it into the existing one? That would be my preference, but only if you guys agree. I'm seeing a lot up and down, no side to side.
Looks good. I think it'll work in that item.
Okay. All right, we'll start incorporating that. And then the presentations, once the roadway and the flood stuff is ironed out, we're going to do a joint, we'll go at the same meeting, flood and RTC, to present our plans, and then we'll set up the rotation for each agency to present what's left. So hopefully, once you take the roads and the floods out, then the presentations for the ancillary stuff will be pretty short. So the hope is to do maybe 2 a meeting.
Or 3.
Or even 3, yeah.
Hopefully to try to get 3 in, so we can squeeze them in a couple of months, few months, to get all the agencies' stuff out there.
Right, and we're thinking, flood, RTC first at one meeting, and then the agencies, and then, because I'm not 100% sure what your cycle is with your adoption and the, the reporting requirements and vetting requirements that you have with your public boards and commissions and things, then you guys would go last. But that's obviously open for discussion. But that's the plan as we're formulating it now.
Next month, we'll propose a schedule to see, so we'll have some discussions about where people can fit in.
Okay. Okay, so let's, I'm writing that down, make sure I don't forget. Next month, we'll have the proposed schedule. So that's it for us.
All right, so with that, we'll move to item 5, discuss projects under design and/or on agency boundaries. Possible action.
Yeah, yes, Madam Chair. Again, this is a standing item where Chris has gone through and just highlighted for discussion purposes some things that looked interesting to us as far as cross-jurisdictional projects, multi-jurisdictional projects. Did you have anything you wanted to add or say specifically that came to mind?
I don't think so.
So, any of the members have any comments on what was provided, or do you want to highlight anything else that's out there? No? All right.
All right. So, with that, we'll receive a report from the Cone Management Working Group.
Yes, Madam Chair. The last Cone Management Working Group did not occur. Instead, we took the time to meet in this room to have what ended up being called a temporary traffic control summit, where we had an excellent discussion. We had about 50 people here from the agencies, from industry, the utilities, representatives from the underground contractors, the traffic safety companies, the general contractors. We had a very aggressive agenda. So aggressive that we actually went a half hour over. Part of that was we didn't have quite more people showed up than RSVP'd, so we were a tad short on the food, which caused an almost near riot. So that pushed the schedule a little bit. So we ended up leaving at 12:30. People only want things when you don't have them, right? So the last meeting I was in, there were a couple requests for vegetarian sandwiches. Very reasonable requests, but they weren't provided, and that was a little bit of a problem. So make sure we order vegetarian sandwiches. Not anyone touched the vegetarian sandwich, which was okay because I got to eat 3 vegetarian sandwiches at the end of the meeting. Anyway, some of the things that were discussed, what I did was I took a summary of everything that was discussed, the 7 or 8 big ideas, takeaways that Chris and I had in the meeting, and sent them out to everybody that came with the sign-in sheet, again, to encourage that talking to one another. Some of you, I think, were on it because you were here, Priscilla for one. Others were not. If this committee would like to see those notes and get their hands on that list, I can send it to you directly, so you can see who's here and see what was talked about. If you don't care, then I won't send it. And some of you may have already seen it just because it may have been forwarded to you. So, what do you guys think on that? Yes? No? Okay.
I think everybody should receive it, just for knowledge.
Okay. I blew up everybody's emails, sending out the notices just to drum up business, but I didn't want to bother anyone that didn't come with the details. So I will send them to this committee. Okay. Very good. Kind of recapping, we went through each agency's processes, at least how Chris and I understood it. There's an excellent discussion between industry and the agencies on the process, the relationship between the temporary traffic control permit and the encroachment permit, particularly on expiration dates was discussed. Some agencies, that's not a problem. They basically coincide. Other agencies, it's a big problem. So that's a thing that we're gonna look at for further use or further discussion. There were no objections to moving forward with taking those 30 conditions of approval that all the agencies agree on. We consolidated them, put them kind of in logical groups. We did not, we deleted one because it's just not being done anymore. So there was no objection to moving forward to put those conditions in the Blue Book through the formal RTC committee process, which will afford industry review and comment on the record. So that's good, as that's part of a larger effort to amend the specifications, the RTC specifications, to create in one place a section on specifically for temporary traffic control. Right now, it's kind of spread around 3 or 4 different sections. It's not really consolidated. So again, there were no objections to moving forward with that. Now, that would afford the agencies the opportunity to take what's in the Blue Book and apply it as they see fit to on the development side. All the agencies adopt the Blue Book as their guideline for development, as modified by development agreements and other things. But that's the kind of the base spec, and to give them the opportunity to apply some of these standards to the development side, again, in a formal way. They're all doing it, as part of the permitting process, but having it in one place to reference and having this open discussion is something that I think will be beneficial for everyone. And it was a specific request from industry, which I think was a reasonable request. And then finally, we decided to do it again. Everybody had so much fun, and I promised to feed them breakfast and lunch next time. They're going to do it again, get the whole group together late July, early August, just to see where we are, and hopefully by that time there'll be some movement on the specifications committees and some other things. So we're going to be next Tuesday. It's going to be back on the regular schedule, so your representatives on the committee will get the regular cone management agenda, and we'll move forward with that. So that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right. Item 7, discuss topics of interest. Does anyone have anything they would like to share with the committee?
We do, if nobody else does. This is my legacy to the RTC, by the way, this topics of interest thing. Back when I was on the Ops Committee, we would always do the topics of interest during the citizen participation, which I thought was kind of awkward. So I asked the RTC, I was on that side of the table at the time, and said, hey, can we add something to so we can just talk about fun things that come up? And they did it. So I always felt obligated under this committee or under this topic to bring something forward because it's kind of my pet. So anyway, what we have been doing behind the scenes, we've been working with ICON. You'll remember last year they came forward to the committee and gave a little presentation on some of their work zone intelligent transportation systems, communication systems that they're using. As you know, the RTC is a partner with Waze. I'm sure all of you are familiar, navigation app, free crowdsourcing navigation app. And of course, we have our cone management working group, and we've got all the projects that are currently under construction and or pending. So we have been able to kind of integrate all those things into, well, not a single platform, but essentially what's happening is that there are, been working with the agencies, all the agencies have agreed to allow us to test these things in their jurisdictions, so thank you for that. This is out in Henderson, so what we have is a standard arrow board that all the agencies require to be put in place whenever a contractor or barricade company takes a lane. So it's proof positive that the lane is gone. The ICON company has essentially put their brains on this arrow board, and it feeds an XML stream, a data stream, to the ICON servers that indicate where it's at and what condition the arrow board is in. So we are able to suck that feed in to our cone management group. It's also going to FAST. Whether or not what they're gonna do with it is up in the air. We're still just trying to get our minds wrapped around, just bringing the data in. Right now, this is about the communication more than anything. So it shows the status. It's there's a lane closed. The merge right arrow is up, and we got the lat long. So that's a feed into the RTC. We've got a couple more up here, just right here on Ogden. You may have driven by it right there. It shows the status. It's just four corners caution, right lane or left lane closed, merge right. Even when they're off, they show up in order to give the agencies and us an opportunity to say, hey, there's something out there, what's imminent. In addition, this is obviously coming into the RTC. This is going to the ICON server. So you got to log in here. This is not open to the public, but it's basically showing the same information here on Arroyo Grande. The feed is also going from ICON to Waze. And ICON is not, they have a partnership with Waze, but it's not an exclusive partnership with Waze. So they're in the negotiations talking to other traffic navigation apps to suck in their feed. So you can see here, if you click on this guy, lane closed, merge right, reported by ICON. So this, I know it doesn't look that spectacular, but this is really an amazing breakthrough. And this is something that Waze is very interested in. This is actually a form of infrastructure to vehicle communication. Instead of having a person in the crowd, well, that's NDOT, still a person. That's NDOT. Let's find one that's just a person here. Back out here, pinch. Wow.
That little symbol there on the right on the freeway.
Yeah, there we go. Well, that's not there we go. That'll be a person. That's us. Normally, there's a lot of people. Just find a cop. Okay, there we go. So when I get the message that caution, police ahead, I pay attention to those. I tend to have to slow down. So, but this is reported by a person, the crowd, which is great. The problem is that if the crowd different people see different things, so it's not quite as reliable. Waze is very interested in doing what they want. They want to connect what they call the windshield world, what you see out your windshield, with the app world. And to do that, to help build confidence in their app, they are very interested in this vehicle or infrastructure to vehicle comm. So this will stay on regardless of anybody giving it a thumbs up or thumbs down or a thumbs up. If the crowd reports it, I think it's 8 minutes. If somebody doesn't come by in 8 minutes and give it a thumbs up, it comes off the map. What we're working with Icone is that right now all the construction zones, with Waze, look the same. They are, as this rolls out, they are going to start looking at the possibility of giving us another icon to identify this, not just as a generic construction zone, but as a arrow board, and that it is a different, the information is from a different source, a piece of equipment, rather than the crowd. And so they are working on that. Right now, they are working on an audible message that would say, lane closed ahead, caution, lane closed ahead, merge right. Again, obviously, the more notice we can get to a person to start moving over, the better the work zone's going to react. And people, the military uses the term actionable intelligence. Right now, you got just a generic construction zone that may or may not be there. There may or may not be a lane taken. There may or may not be an impact. Here, if you get the message in your car, caution, right lane closed, merge left, now you can make a decision, okay? Safely, you're going to look, is this red? Is there a real issue? As we all know, there's excess capacity out on the roadways. You can take a lane at some parts of the time, or some parts of the day where it's no issue at all. Oh, okay, right lane closed ahead, no red, I'm going to stay on my path. Right lane closed ahead, solid red, crap, I need to find something else, a better way to go. And the app can route you around it, or you can do your own thing. So this connection is really what I wanted to highlight. There's a lot of things that we need to continue to work on and work out, but the fact that we're communicating with these things, that's the other thing. One of the big issues in the summit was the general inability of the contractors and the safety companies, traffic safety companies, to call in as is required their sets. They pull the permit and it'll say 30 days, we'll be working for a week within a 30-day window. They're required, when they actually go out there to set up their work zone, to call in. Hardly any of them do it. This is an automated way to get that message. There is absolutely, from the person that sets this arrow board up, there is nothing that they have to do that they're not already doing. They turn it on, they put it in the configuration they want, and it automatically feeds its status to not only us, but the agencies that they want it. So now the agencies have notification. So this is a technological attempt, or an attempt at a technological solution to what is really a human frailty of communication. But when the people aren't working, maybe we can get the machines working a bit better. But the one advantage why we like it is, we show this whole project, Arroyo Grande, is under construction. These are the official limits in Henderson, Sunset to Horizon Ridge. But that's not where the work zone is. The work zone is in the south half of it. So, we can actually now differentiate where the impacts are, rather than just saying the whole thing's under construction. So that's, again, getting that granularity, making the information that's going out to the public more actionable. So we are very excited about that, and we thank the agencies with allowing us to put these things on the projects and put them out in the field. So
What
that's
is the time frame of the updates of those signs to the system?
the feed goes to Icone 5 times a minute. So how fast it updates Waze, I don't know. I doubt that it's that fast. I think the Waze updates are every 2 minutes, something like that. But it's essentially real time.
So if the signs that are on and off are showing up,
Mm-hmm.
do they show up in the yard and all the way out to
Yeah.
the outside where we're going to see a moving target of an arrow board going down the street? Or
when they're off, they're actually a lighter gray. So that one that's actually near Ogden, that's in, looks like the yard, that one is actually on in flash. So it looks like it's in like the storage yard, the one below it. Yeah.
So, yeah, if it were off,
Well, they-
you wouldn't see,
obviously
you wouldn't
that
see these
one's
four
off.
corners.
Yeah.
It would just be
It'd
gray.
be
and-
like a light gray.
Right, and they can, I'm told, well, I don't know, I don't want to speculate,
I
but,
mean, one of the reasons they did that is because, you know, you disconnect the battery and then somebody takes, you know, the equipment and runs off with it. Well, even though it's off and disconnected, it's still trackable. So,
oh, yeah, exactly, and that's another thing I wanted to mention. The, you know, Chris, who's intimately familiar with this map, and the work that's going on out there, and again, just to remind everybody, this is in the test environment, but soon it's going to be out to everybody. So the agencies, you know, their traffic folks, their inspection folks, you know, if they see like this is probably a good example, arrow board out here, you know, there's no red line here. So this is an alert immediately to Chris that, hey, there might be something going on out here. It's an alert to the staff of the county here, I believe this is in the county, that there might be something going on out here. So again, that notification, let's get it on, find out what it is, get it up on the map. So that's another great benefit from our perspective.
That could be a developer project.
Absolutely.
that's exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And moving forward, you know, we're moving forward with putting together a specification, specifically, you know, getting specifically in writing exactly what the performance specification that we want in order to get it onto our projects. But again, that could then be carried over and used as a condition of approval for the agencies to require these on all projects. That's the ultimate goal. If you're taking a lane and you're using an arrow board, we want to have the capability to know what state it's in and where it's at. So we estimate there's about 300 arrow boards out there in the valley. Maybe not all deployed, but you know, that's basically the inventory. So that's not a huge number. And the brains it's not very expensive. They're about $1,500 each. You know, so you're getting a huge bang for the buck. Again, it's just working out the details of sucking in the data. So, unless there are any questions, more questions, that would be that.
Oh, thank you, JP. That's interesting.
Thank you.
We will move to our last item, citizens' participation. Again, no action can be taken on any matter discussed under this item, but the committee can direct that it be placed on a future agenda. Would anyone like to make a comment? All right, if there's no further business, this meeting's adjourned.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. I got your stuff.